It's night and day.
Dissidia Final Fantasy.
Night and day back again.
Yes, we are back. Back in the world of Dissidia Final Fantasy.
Of course we're back,
Yeah.
because there's a new character, so we're gonna jump into the freaking game and show you everything about that character.
Yes, as usual, whenever there's a new character release for Dissidia, we usually show you some gameplay and whatnot for him. So, yeah, I guess we'll dive in
Yes.
on this one. Let's see.
Yes, we're gonna show you the skins first, then the gameplay, and while we're doing that, we're gonna go over his backstory and his history and all that good stuff.
Indeed.
And there's something a little bit weird going on. This character, by the way, is Zenos from Final Fantasy XIV.
Zenos.
Yes.
Okay, alright.
Zenos yae
The Warrior
Galvus.
Princess.
And he does not actually have a new cutscene.
Oh,
So,
okay. That's odd.
yeah, that is odd. It's a
That's-
first.
Yeah, that is the first time we've ever seen something like that.
So, we won't be showing you guys a cutscene video until, of course, that's released.
Right.
At which point we will dive in and show you the new cutscene. There are potential reasons for why that may be, and we will get to those also. But first things first, let's dive into the skins. You can take your first look at Zenos.
Zenos. Oh, wow.
Zenos yae Galvus.
Zenos yae Galvus. Wow. That's quite the name.
Yes, well, he's royalty.
Ah,
So,
that seems like a royal name, if I've ever seen one.
yeah, so kind of like Vayne Carudus Solidor.
Solidor.
Yeah. So yeah, the royalty, they've got some...
Sounds like a spell. Let's see.
Alright, so we'll jump into the skins.
Let's see. Oh. Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh my god, that looks awesome.
Yeah, your
What
first look
the
at
heck?
Zenos. He is a badass. And we're going to get to go into more just how much a badass he is when we cover his story. But yeah, this guy is a total badass.
Oh my god, okay.
So, as you can see here, he's got some hardcore heavy armor. He's also got kind of an Eastern flair to it.
Yeah.
Where he's got this...
Looks like a katana style weapon.
yeah, he uses katanas as his weapon. And he's also got sort of a hakama, like, robe wrapped around
right.
his leg plate mail.
Right.
And
right.
the gigantic thing that he's got to his left is a kind of like a sheath for his katanas, but it rotates like a revolver. So it goes, and then whichever sword he wants pops up,
Oh,
and
okay.
he draws whichever one he wants. And that's ridiculously impractical.
Right, right. And why wouldn't
But-
you just, grab whatever one you want?
Yeah, yeah.
Instead of waiting this whole rotational aspect of it.
Well,
But
it's more badass.
it looks really cool. Yeah.
When you see him in the game, they'll show it for some of his intros as well,
Oh,
and
okay.
for his EX skill.
Oh,
But
nice.
yeah, it's also in character with the Garlean Empire, where they are hardcore into technology and that sort of
Oh,
thing. So,
okay.
but yeah, it's ridiculously impractical.
Yeah.
Like, why would you carry a 50-pound sheath?
Yeah, exactly.
Even if you have 3 swords, like Zoro from One Piece is like, I've got 3 swords, and I just have 3 normal.
Right, I just kind
Slim
of pick them
katana.
up
Yeah.
whenever, yeah. It looks fantastic. I thought it was like he puts his katanas in there as kind of like an ammunition to fire a gun or something like that. That's what it kind of felt like to me, but
Well,
I guess not.
the revolver aspect is there, so
Yeah.
it does share that. But yeah, he just uses it as a sheath. All right, so let's jump into his skins real quick.
Yeah, let's see.
All right, so the first one, this is exactly how he looks in his game.
I mean, it looks
14.
very badass.
Yeah, total badass.
I'm a total fan of this.
Yeah, we'll get into exactly how badass he is personality-wise as well in a bit. All right, so the second one changes things up. Not too much. Not too much, honestly.
The blue, it's more subtle, it seems. I mean, it obviously doesn't have that like red flare to it.
Right.
But like it blends a little bit more, like it matches, I guess, a little bit more.
Yeah, I like it less because it matches a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat. I like the reds, like that flare, that kind of pop the red gives
Yeah.
it. But yeah, it looks cool still, but not as much as the first one. Ooh.
So here, they kind of kept a blue theme going for the cloth, but they changed his armor up so that it's much lighter.
Yeah.
We got light silver going on instead of the dark gunmetal kind of gray.
Yeah, very true.
So this makes the blue stand out better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like this as the combination better, for sure. Like, this is more of a knight, I guess, feel. It looks more knight than, like, without the Eastern kind of influence, I guess. But I think it looks pretty cool. I like this. I definitely like the first one the most, but this is an easy second for me.
Yeah, this one is definitely good.
Yeah.
In terms of weapons, there aren't any at the moment.
All right. Cool.
So he currently only has his his primary sword.
Yeah.
I mean, he uses all three in the
Okay.
game as well as another one, but yeah, this is the Ame no Habakiri, and this thing, it's kind of a legendary weapon in the game.
Okay.
The first time he fights you, he breaks his sword, and then he ends up replacing that one with this.
Oh,
so
okay.
this is he prefers swords with histories that have some sort of story behind them.
Yeah, right.
And this one is one such sword. It's a legendary sword, a treasure of certain people, and then one of his subordinates finds it and gives it to him.
Oh, awesome.
By the way, we're going to have a lot of spoilers for Final Fantasy XIV, especially Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood, the second expansion. Yeah, it's a pretty badass weapon.
Yeah,
and
it looks really badass with that like red to or that black to red kind of feel to it. Yeah, that looks awesome.
Yeah, that's another reason why the red color scheme
works
is the
so
best.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it matches the sword.
For sure.
So maybe the future weapon releases will look better with those other.
Yeah. If they had like a white to blue or like a silver to blue or something like that to accent a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because especially with that revolver kind of like piece that he has, like if the sword and that match, I think that would look really badass with everything. So
the other thing about him, there aren't any additional weapons yet, and there is no second skin. Or second primary skin, I guess you would call it. Like all three of these skins are just the color variations of the first.
Yeah.
So his second skin doesn't exist yet, and that's specifically because his second skin is going to be based on his appearance in the next expansion for Final Fantasy XIV, Shadowbringers, which isn't out yet.
Right. It's still ongoing to be released, so they don't want to give it out here. Right,
because that would be a big spoiler to that game.
Right.
So that expansion is due out this summer, and he's going to have his second appearance in this game be based on his appearance in that expansion. Probably the weapon is similar, like he'll probably get more super powerful swords in the expansion, and then you can get those in this. Yeah, so let's dive into some gameplay.
Yeah, sounds good.
And we'll get into the history of Zenos and see exactly how much of a badass he really is.
Yeah, because he looks pretty badass. I can't wait to see if he's wiping down territories or something like that.
Yeah, you won't be disappointed with this guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't skimp on the badass.
Oh man. Oh, we're looking forward to it. So see you guys in there.
Well, it's showtime.
Oh, hello.
I pray this battle doesn't disappoint me.
Alright, so here we are with Zenos.
Yes. Oh my god.
Now he is a badass, but that's the HP attack right away.
That's the HP attack, yeah.
So he does run or move slowly, so he might not be your standard style of character.
Yeah. Alright.
But he has moves that increase his mobility a little bit.
Okay.
So first of all, his normal moves, he actually has fewer normal moves than most characters, and that's because of his EX skill. His EX skill allows him to have more moves than other characters. So, first of all, from the ground, neutral X is like a 4-hit combo. Yeah.
Okay.
If you hit with it, you can string it to 4.
Ah, it's fairly fast, I guess.
Yeah, it's fast.
Yeah.
Like his movement is slow, but the actual attack is quick.
Right. Okay.
Oh, that little
Oh, come here, kid.
Taru.
Ah, okay.
So there you go. That's the 4-hit standard.
Right.
The forward and X from the ground, you can charge. So if you hold down X, you can also tag an extra hit onto to make it a 2-hit combo after you land the first hit. That's gonna hit. Yeah, there we go. Very nice. So that lets you charge. So that lets you close the gap.
Oh, okay. Right.
It's still going to be a little bit tougher to hit marksman, so you might want to switch up to not somebody who's constantly running away and the size of your shoe.
That's very true.
There you go.
Bolts of lightning down on them.
Wow. His voice acting is very, very happy about that.
Well, he's kind of got two distinct attitudes. You can do the square, the HP attack.
Ooh.
So fragile.
Yeah. If the first hit hits, then he'll do like the follow-up 3 hits. If the first hit doesn't hit, then he won't continue the animation.
Oh, so yeah, miss and then you're done basically. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't continue through it.
Exhilarating battle.
Yeah, so
He has really cool voice acting.
yeah, his voice actor does a great job.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job on this one.
Like most, it's the same guy from 14.
Yeah, right. Okay. Makes sense.
So yeah, he has two kind of moods, I guess you would call it. One where he's apathetic, almost bored,
Oh, okay.
kind of nonchalant with how he's dealing with things. Another when he actually
There is only despair.
gets into a fight and he's like, he actually senses some sort of excitement in the battle, where it's not just some cakewalk.
Right, so he wants a hard battle.
Yeah, we'll get into that in his desires in a little bit. So the jumping is very similar. So jump and neutral X does like a 3-hit combo, or 4-hit combo, yeah. And forward jump and X does like a 3-hit thing that sends him flying, yeah. So it's very similar, except you can't charge the forward one. So yeah, so those are pretty standard stuff, kind of run-of-the-mill like sword combos.
Right.
Because where his moveset really gets interesting is all with the EX skill. So you see how your EX skill is lit up right now?
Right, yeah.
So he has 3 swords, and if you hold triangle neutral, then he'll start the revolver. You can see it spinning.
Oh, that is awesome.
And then, depending on what direction you press...
Oh, that gets you the different sword that you want.
Exactly.
Oh,
so
that is so cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. So if you press... Yeah, it even shows the symbols.
Right.
So if you press left, that's the storm. That's the the bluish blade. But we'll get back.
Okay.
He gets his EX gauge, unlike most characters. It doesn't build over time. It builds from hits. So you have to get in there and hit the guy.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then his charges very quickly.
Oh, all right.
So it's not like the others where you have to wait a long time. It's just you have to do 1 or 2 hits, and boom, it's already
Wow.
full.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. Okay.
Yeah, there's a reason why it can charge so quickly. So, so the first one is pretty close range. Yeah, that. And it's like an AoE. So it'll hit anybody in like a half circle around him about.
Right.
But it's a short range thing. So the next one is forward. And if you press forward, it uses the green katana, which is called Swell.
Okay. Let's see.
That's it.
Oh.
Now, it's basically a charge forward, but what's really good about it is it's unblockable.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if your opponent's there, then if he doesn't evade it or get far enough away, he's getting hit.
Yeah, you're done. Okay.
Now,
Really cool.
did you see that? Or one thing that you should notice is after you hit with that move, next to his HP or next to his bravery, next to the number, there's 3 symbols.
Right.
After you hit with that move, the middle symbol lit up.
Right. Okay.
So the next one is if you do the revolver and hit right, and this is going to be a very close range, like jump and slam down on somebody. There it is.
Oh, there we go.
All right. So that last one to the right is called Art of the Sword. So it's Art of the Storm, Art of the Swell, and Art of the Sword. And you can see that Swell and Sword are both lit up.
Right.
If you hit with all 3 of them in one fight, then you'll get basically a super buff that will last for, I think, around 45 seconds, which is pretty long in the terms of this game.
Right, yeah. That's a make or break for this game. There
Nice,
we go.
you got all 3.
Oh, wow.
So now you move better, and if you hit triangle, you get close though.
Oh,
That's okay, because it doesn't run out.
Oh, okay.
So now you have a super attack. Yes.
Oh.
Boom. Yeah, it's awesome.
My God, that is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a super attack. It does HP damage.
Right.
And once you start that animation of that attack, you're invincible during it.
Oh, okay.
So it's really tough to land all 3 of the... Or it can be really tough to land all 3.
Right.
Especially, I'm sure, versus people online who are going to be, looking out for that.
Exactly, yeah.
But if you land all 3, then you gain that awesome buff.
Yeah, for sure.
It also, at that point, he's a specialist class, which, makes sense because of all of this different, this skill that we're talking about, his EX skill, and how the dynamic that it works and no other character does that.
Yeah.
That's why he's a specialist. But if you hit with all 3, part of that buff is that you have Vanguard level poise and interruption, so it means like your character has a higher priority and doesn't get interrupted as easily.
Right.
He becomes like the heavier hitter at that point.
Right.
So that's pretty sweet, and yeah, you can just keep spamming that triangle once you gain that ability.
Over and over again. Right.
Because you'll basically be invincible, and you don't lose the EX skill until you hit with it.
Right. That's awesome. So yeah, that really changes the game for sure. 'Cause especially if you can't get interrupted through that whole thing.
Right.
Then it's not like his triangle moves suck. Like his triangle moves are really good.
Yeah.
So it gives you
two of them are unblockable.
Right.
That swell one is unblockable, and I didn't mention, but the sword one, the right, that dunking slam attack thing, that's also unblockable.
Oh, okay.
So if they're close, they're dead. They need to sidestep, or... I mean, it's close range, so it's not like it's a guarantee he's totally broken and it's guaranteed to hit.
Yeah, for
there
sure.
There are ways to evade it, for sure. But, yeah, 2 unblockable EX skill attacks, you're right.
Yeah, then,
those skills are in no way weak.
You have a lot of reasoning to, like, want to hit with those attacks. And then, it just kind of, like, rewards you just for... like doing the smart move and trying to connect with these attacks.
Right. And those are his more mobile attacks, too. Also, because you can hold down the triangle when you're choosing the thing, you can also run mind games with him so that your opponent doesn't know which way to die.
Yeah, right,
necessarily. They just see the thing spinning and they're like, crap.
Gotta do something right now. Yeah, and then you can just go based on their reaction. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, there's also one more dynamic to it that we haven't covered yet, which is if you do the dash attack and... So just do a dash and then do a normal attack. Oh, now we're blind, so we can't see. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's
we'll show this in a minute when the screen is not filled with ink. We'll show this next battle when the screen is not filled with ink. But the way this works is if you do the dash attack, it'll be a different attack depending on which katana you've drawn.
Okay.
So your EX skill draws a different katana. And his normal moves don't change, but his dash attack is a different attack depending on which EX skill you use.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so
even if you don't connect with that EX attack, you have that katana out.
Exactly.
And then your game is basically changing at that point.
Exactly.
Because you have
you get at least one new attack
per katana.
Right.
Oh, wow. There's so much involved in this. That is awesome.
Yeah, they really...
I think they utilized his multiple katanas very well in this,
But yeah, the first one is with you start out with the Ame no Habakiri, and that does it. It has a slight tracking and it has good distance on it.
Right.
With that projectile.
Yeah, it really does. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's good distance. It homes in, but only slightly.
Oh, right.
So now you can switch to one of the other two, and you'll see he has different. Oh, thanks, guys.
Oh my God!
You'll see that you're a bouncy.
Yeah.
You're just a beach ball.
A bouncy ball.
There we go. And now you have a new attack, which the dash attack now is like a mid-range vertical projectile. There it is.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so yeah, it's similar to the Wakasashi from Yuna. It's just a kind of a mid-range, very fast-moving vertical projectile.
Right, and this one doesn't track or anything like that?
No, this one doesn't home in. The last one does track, but it's slow-moving. Alright.
Oh yeah, it has that like vertical line kind of.
Yeah, it's like mid-range, but yeah, zero tracking. But it is fast.
Yeah, yeah.
And it gives him mobility and distance, which, yeah, his normal hits.
Yeah, that's usually quite a distance from his usual fighting style, it seems.
There it is.
Oh,
alright.
Yeah.
So that one, it's very slow-moving, but it tracks and it has a longer range than the other two.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's easier to dodge though.
Right,
So-
yeah. I could see that for sure.
Again, it's not like perfect homing, but you know,
it does
he's
the
not
job.
he's not a
that's for
marksman, so they're not going to give him every tool in the trade.
sure. Right, that makes sense.
So that covers all of his gameplay. I really like the way that they did it with the revolver sheath, and you draw a different katana, and it's integrated into the EX skill, and then it gives you a new dash attack throughout until you draw a different katana again.
Yeah. I definitely love that kind of style, because you get to change it up as much as you want.
Right, you can stick with your favorite or just keep your enemies guessing.
Right, yeah, for sure. Like, it's fantastic. Like, especially if you have if you want to play the long game, you can with him, and then if you can change it up and get in like really close, do a lot of damage, and then like adapt your playstyle to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely think they went a good direction with this guy.
Let the hunt begin. I will withdraw for now.
Yeah, even his backing off sounds cool.
Yeah. For now.
Alright, so now we can start getting into his character history.
Yeah, for sure. Because I definitely would like to know more, because he seems like a freaking badass right here.
Yeah, he's a beast.
I have no interest in beasts who only howl.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite intro quote from him.
Yeah, that is super bad.
So, alright, so yeah, to get into his story, he's from Final Fantasy XIV, and he was first shown at the end of the Heaven's Ward expansion, at the very, very, very end, just kind of a small teaser glimpse of him. So yeah, Zenos yae Galvus, he is the crown prince of the Garlean Empire. So like many of the Final Fantasy games, he's from an evil empire.
Okay, makes sense.
He is the prince though, so he is, you know, potentially heir to the Empire.
The whole kingdom. Okay.
His father is pretty strict guy, as you could imagine, and doesn't necessarily think that he's worthy to inherit. So that's not necessarily a given that he would be the heir to the throne.
Okay, right. So he's the kind of story of wants to kind of prove to his father he's a badass.
No, in no way.
Oh wow. Okay.
In no way. He doesn't seem to care about his father too much.
That's awesome. I'm glad they decided to go a different route. Though.
Yeah, that's not where they're going with it. Besides being the crown prince, he's also the legatus to the 12th Legion. So he's basically a general, is what it boils down to. He's the leader of a large group of soldiers. And on top of that, he's also the viceroy to Alamiga. And that means he's kind of similar to Vayne in that he is currently the leader of one of these areas that the Empire has taken over.
Okay.
So they've occupied some territories, and he is the de facto leader.
Okay.
So, yeah, Alamigo and Doma are the
Your decree is absolute.
those are the primary territories in his expansion, which is Stormblood. So Stormblood is the second expansion. Heaven's Ward was the first expansion.
Right. Okay.
He is the primary antagonist throughout all of Stormblood. So he gets to shine, take the center stage.
Right.
And yeah, so when you start the game, he's already he has already earned all these positions. He's not like fighting for them or trying to earn favor or curry favor or anything. He's already got
top
this.
dog, basically.
Yeah, in this area.
Right.
He's not toppest of all the dogs.
Right.
There are dogs who bark above him. But yeah, he's got quite a pedigree.
Oh my god.
So yeah.
I love the little kibbles and bits of information you're throwing.
So yeah, when you're first introduced to him, in his very first cutscene, he's already a badass. He looks like this, similar to this, except he's got also this crazy badass helmet that's got this white face and 2 giant horns on it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
A lot of the Garlean Empire, the higher-ups there, the strongest warriors, or even just the leaders, have the same sort of heavy plate mail motif with giant spikes and horns and things like that. They kind of look like the judges from Final Fantasy XII, where they have like crazy plate mail and imposing helmets.
Oh, right.
But then, at some point, they just start to take it to some other level where they seem to have some contest behind the scenes where, like, who can have the pointiest armor ever? Where there's, like, gigantic spikes everywhere.
Everyone looks like sea anemones, like, just jutting, like, different...
That would be even funny.
Yeah.
That's, like, the parody level. You can, like... It's just, they roll them out onto the battlefield.
Yeah, exactly. Just spines just rolling through.
So, yeah, it's not to that degree, but it is at a degree where it's like, what?
Yeah, you're pushing it now.
Yeah, it's not really practical anymore. So
I can't wait. Let's do this already.
You can't wait to what? Pick your nose? That was a weird combination of things that you just did.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get this booger
I
out.
can't wait to eat this booger later.
It's Vaughn. They've made him so dumb in this game. I wouldn't put it past him at all. So, Camel Nut.
Oh my god.
Camel Nut just owning you.
It's cameling my nuts.
Yeah, Camel Nuts over here. It's very funny because the 2 characters they brought in from MMOs are both, like, royalty who both lounge around on thrones during a lot of their cutscenes and in the same position. Like, they both have the one leg over the other, resting their head on their chin kind of thing.
Yeah,
they both do that, lounging on the throne instead of taking it more seriously.
Yeah, right.
But they lean to opposite directions.
Oh, that's diversity right there.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what they were going for.
Yeah.
Back to Zenos and his badassery. So yeah, the very first cutscene that you see him in Stormblood, he's marching into this city and they're giving him a welcome. They're singing the Garlean national anthem to him and all this, and then he takes his seat on the throne.
My lord,
A couple of his subordinates give him the report of the status of the empire in this region that they're occupying.
Okay.
And the guy says, everything's fine, everything except for one. This one squadron, whatnot, got taken out by some rebel insurgency, something like that.
Okay.
And there was only one survivor. And he says,
The stubbornness to
well,
survive is not
something along the lines
hard
of,
work.
the will to live is admirable, but cowardice is not. Something like that.
Okay.
And the guy's like, oh, you're right. We can't have any cowardice in the 12th Legion, so I'm going to have him removed immediately. That's his subordinate says that.
Right.
And then he said, you're right. Indeed. And he gets up from his throne, and he draws a katana, and he slowly approaches this guy.
Yeah.
And you know what's going to happen. And he's like, we can't allow cowardice. And that includes commanders who never actually get into battle themselves and leave important decisions to their subordinates and never actually face their enemies in battle themselves. And he just slashes the guy. It's
my god.
You're done, you're fired.
Here's your pink slip.
Yeah. Sorry, there's no pension plan.
Yeah.
And there's no breath in your body.
How's that for 401k?
401 drops of blood on the floor. I don't know. So they show you right away he's rootless.
Right.
And, he's kind of got that Darth Vader thing going on where you don't want to fail him as his subordinate.
There's no such thing as failure in his eyes. Like, it will result in your life, basically.
Yeah, not every time. You see you see other subordinates who fail and he lets them live, but it depends on, their attitude and whether or not it's all basically battle worthiness. He respects strength and he doesn't respect cowardice or lack of strength.
Right.
Immediately after that, you learn that he's ruthless, but he's also eloquent. He's very well spoken. So yeah, as you figured out before from his dialogue lines, he is the sort of guy who is always pining for that fight, that ultimate challenge. He wants to have an ultra challenging fight, but he's intellectual. So unlike a lot of characters who are like that, where you have the characters who are always pining for that ultimate challenge and they're just super aggressive, like Vegeta.
Yeah.
Villains have that too.
Yeah, right.
Where they're either aggressive or possibly like pushed to the point of insanity, where they're just like and they're just pure bloodlust. Or it's like Goku, where they're a total goofball.
Right.
Yeah, we want a challenge. Happy go lucky.
Right. It's like, boy, you're strong. I want to fight now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get the Vegetas of the world. Fight me, you bastard.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so he's not like any of that. He's actually well spoken. He addresses his troops, and you can see right away how he's not just this blindly aggressive, bloodthirsty rage monster.
Right.
He's like, this uprising poses a curious question. What is the best way for us to tame these savages? And he's always talking like that, where to him, like the other people in Alamigo and Doma are savages. They're just beasts to be tamed.
Yeah, they need to be conquered, like for their own good, basically, right?
Sort of, but he's mostly trying to to kind of engineer a scenario where he can fight some of them.
Oh, okay.
Where it can potentially be, because to him it's a hunt. Like he likes to try and find a situation, find a scenario where he can find a worthy opponent.
He's like looking for the most dangerous game kind of thing.
Yeah, and he does even refer to it as, we can hunt the most dangerous game, or we can hunt the sport of kings, something like that, where he's basically, alluding to he hunts humans.
Right, yeah. Makes sense. It's pretty on the nose, I think.
Or not necessarily pure humans, because in Final Fantasy XIV there's a ton of races, but you know what I'm saying. Like
right.
Hunting a sentient life form that is capable of thought and fighting back in the whole nine.
Right.
Oh yeah, a little bit more background on Zenos is he actually didn't use katanas at first. The people in the Garlean Empire use sort of gunblade type weaponry.
Okay.
It's not always a sword, but it's a gun mixed with another type of weapon.
Yeah.
Like someone has a gun halberd, and there's gun blades are standard. So that's their standard weapon, because again, Garlean Empire, high technology.
Right. Yeah.
But when he came to the eastern region, he fought with the people, and he appreciated their weaponry, and he was like, oh, okay, these are pretty badass.
Yeah.
And then he started using katanas predominantly. So that's where he picked up that weapon style from.
Right.
Also, his kind of sash that he wears,
it's kind of like an homage to that.
Yeah, he got that from this area as well. So he picked up those Eastern themes.
And he kind of put his spin on it with the whole revolver type of thing, like mixing technology with that.
Yeah, that's definitely the Garlean touch. I guess he had that custom made because Garleans don't use katanas other than him. But anyway, and speaking of homage or homage, the Doma in Final Fantasy XIV is named after Doma from Final Fantasy VI. Was an Eastern-themed castle where you met Cyan, a samurai character who joins your party in that game.
Cool.
Yeah. So when you first encounter him as the Warrior of Light, the player character in that game, you're one of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. We've talked about that before. That's Ishtola's group.
Right.
There's a few of them, and they're all pretty powerful, prestigious members. You know, they've already righted things in the main plot, and then again in Heaven's Word, and now you're here in Stormblood in these areas that are kind of like Eastern themed, like we talked about before. Your team, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, have met with like the resistance to the Empire in the East.
Oh, okay.
And you're kind of planning, okay, what's the way that we can try and make some strikes, and you have a new plan that you put in action, and you leave your resistance base and you go out and you start to act out your plan, and you're starting to make headway, but then in the middle of your operation, you look back and you see, oh wait, what's all that smoke and fire? Oh, that's the resistance base. Wait a minute.
Yeah. So he has this counterattack already planned out and everything like that.
Yeah. So while you were away, he decided to go back and wipe things out because he actually has a traitor in the Alameda ranks who helped him get into the resistance base. But anyway, in the resistance base, while you're away, he ends up fighting some members of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Lise, a pretty powerful monk character, and also Ishtola, actually.
Oh, okay.
And so he tells Lise, don't disappoint me or I'll kill you.
Yeah.
So he literally says, fight well or die.
Yeah.
And she runs up and she starts, throwing these combos, flipping, kick, punch, and he does the anime thing where he's like,
Yeah.
She can't get any offense.
Can't touch him at all, right?
Whereas in the past, she's been shown to be, formidable fighter.
Right.
And then she starts getting owned, and Ishtola runs to her aid, and she throws up this force shield thing. Like you've seen her do it in this game.
Yes.
She's done it in that game a ton. So like her superior protective shield. Where, like when crap hits the fan, that's
what she pulls out.
Okay, that's the safety bubble. Everybody, all right, we're good now.
Yeah.
And he's like, a magical shield? Well, that's not going to help you. And he just, uses... he bears down with his katana and, forces his way through it, and it shatters, and he slashes through Ishtola.
What the heck?
She doesn't die because of plot magic or whatnot. But, yeah, she takes a heavy hit.
Yeah.
And...
I can imagine.
Yeah, so it's like, wow, he just shatters the thing... without crazy high-tech anything. He's just his force of will and strength. Yeah.
So it's not even magic that he's using. It's just sheer strength.
Right, because another thing I didn't mention, the Garleans, they can't use magic.
Oh.
So they are actually physically stronger than most races, but something in their genetics makes them unable to use magic.
Okay.
And we're going to get into that in a little bit too, because Zenos isn't cool with that. So yeah, he takes them out, and then your group gets back because you rushed there after you saw the fires burning, indicating,
Yeah, we should probably do something about this.
Mission canceled. Let's get back.
Yeah.
So you get back, and then your character steps up to fight him.
Ah, okay.
You're the warrior of light. You've won when the others have failed a couple of times before. You don't lose. Except now you lose. So Zenos fights you, and you lose. Canonically, you lose that fight. Oh,
you have to lose.
Yeah, it's one of those forced loss fights. And that's where he beats you so bad, or he fights you, and he snaps his sword.
Oh, okay.
So while fighting you, he's not impressed with you in any way, and then they go on their merry way. They leave, and a couple of other members of the Scions rush in and heal everybody up.
Okay, right.
So that's the first encounter with him, is the savior who's won every fight, the warrior of light, your player character, actually gets owned.
Gets demolished by this guy.
Get your ass kicked, boom. So it's pretty impressive introductory fight with that guy.
Right. The first time you see him, he's blowing through force fields and just demolishing warriors of light and everything like that.
Yeah, so he owns the Scions, including the main player character, so that hasn't really happened before, and that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So you end up talking with some of the other resistance leaders. There's this one girl, a ninja girl named Yugiri, who's all about, okay, we have to fight him, we have to find a way to kill him. If he's unstoppable on the battlefield, we'll just do it my way, the ninja way. We'll take him out in a subtle...
Right, silent assassination type way. Right.
Yeah, which I kind of think they went about not entirely the right way, because if you're really going to do that, then, slit his throat while he's sleeping kind of thing. Do it the full-on ninja way. They design an ambush.
Oh, okay.
So while he's walking through with a small amount of guards accompanying him, he's walking through enemy territory, and they stealthily, the ninja girl just... whoom, jumps in, takes out the guy in back.
Oh, okay.
Jumps away. Jumps back in, takes out another guy. Jumps back in, takes out another guy. So they pick off a few of the people around him, and then she jumps in right at him, and he's just like, whooshink! And he raises the sword and blocks her as she's diving at him. So I like the concept. Oh, let's do it the stealth way. But still, you don't. If you want to fully do it the stealth way, you know, get him while he's asleep or whatnot. Or,
Yeah.
you know, he's on the potty. He's just sitting on the toilet, do.
Yeah, like poison his food, do something
Yeah,
instead
yeah.
of instead of trying to still take him out physically.
Right.
Like in a
while
battle.
he's in full armor with his sword.
Right.
Because, yeah, if you're smart enough to realize keep him off the battlefield, then take that one more step. And
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
let him get in his armor.
Still get him away from the battlefield as far as humanly possible.
Although, to be fair, unlike Camlanot, or Camlanot, whatever, this guy actually sits on his throne in full armor.
Oh,
so I don't know if he ever takes it off. He's
Always ready for the full fight, basically.
I don't know. He sits on it kind of lazily. Like, they just didn't want to animate another.
Yeah, they just wanted to keep using assets.
Although they did animate another outfit for him a little bit later, so maybe that's not it. I don't know. But yeah, as impractical as that would be, he's constantly in that gigantic 2-ton armor. He's wearing a car at all times. Regardless, she tries her sneak attack. It doesn't work out.
Right.
So then he beats her down and some other resistance members. And then you go back into the fray again. This time, you've got the people behind you of Doma. You know, the resistance is like, yeah, all right. And, you know, a couple of the other major resistance members like Yugiri and
Right.
backing you up.
Yeah, everyone's backing you.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you get demolished again. He beats your ass down. Canonically, you lose again.
I'm sure that's so frustrating to play. Like, you're just playing, it's like, oh my god, now we finally got it. Like, it's like everyone's banded together, there's complete, like, synchronicity, everyone's on the same page, and then, boom, wipe the floor one more time.
Well, some of these people who are the resistance members aren't like warriors. They're, you know, town folk with
Oh,
pitchforks
okay,
and stuff
right.
like that. So it's not like
So, yeah.
instant win column sort of
Right,
thing. But yeah,
right.
you are prepared. It is an ambush, and you lose. So, yeah. And then this time he's like, he's tried out his new sword on you.
Oh, right.
So he's like, all right, I'm gonna kill you. But just as he goes to kill you, part of his helmet, one of the horns of his helmet, snaps off, and he realizes, oh crap! During this fight, you actually splintered off a piece of my armor?
Right.
That's awesome! And then he gets psyched because, you know, he's all about the...
He's found someone that's possibly worthy of the fight. Right.
So, even though the first fight he dismissed you, the second fight he was about to dismiss you, he's like, oh, all right. You go and survive and get stronger. Do whatever you need to do. You go ahead and get stronger because I want to fight you again.
Right,
You got
right.
potential. And then he leaves and lets you live.
Oh my god. That is such like a, it seems like a Vegeta style thing. But
Yeah.
It's very much so. It's like, oh, you're not even worth my time yet. But I could see that you might be, so it's actually
Yeah, is that Vegeta will do it to... A lot of characters will do it to the stupid level.
Right.
Where it's like, all right, imperfect Cell, I beat you and you're nothing. You're not even impressive to me. I'm going to let you become Perfect Cell.
Yeah.
I want that extra challenge. And then Cell becomes Perfect Cell and instantly
then
destroys
demolishes
Vegeta.
them,
Yeah. The Vegeta was a little bit above Imperfect Cell, and then Perfect Cell was like way above
Just
Vegeta.
worlds above, yeah.
So that was not the smartest thing. And for Zenos, it turns out to be not the smartest thing. But he gets what he wants out of it, so he was still... Anyway, you do come back and go through more trials and tribulations. And eventually, the Resistance gains so much momentum that they actually storm the Empire's home citadel, or whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Like, their main fortress or foothold in these eastern lands in Alamigo, and you storm your way through, and you confront him again. And yeah, there's some other stuff that goes on with his subordinates and things like that, the one traitor girl and all of this, but we don't need to cover every little thing, we're just going to focus on Zenos.
Right.
And so you get to fight him again, and he's pretty happy because you're back, and he's like, yes, finally!
Yeah, I've been waiting for you, yeah.
And he can tell that you're stronger. And then he says, but I haven't been complacent either. So he shows you, he takes you out back to like the gardens of this area It's called the Menagerie, where the people who were there before kept rare animals from different parts of the world that were not local to these eastern lands.
Right.
So he takes you and shows you that he's gotten rid of all those creatures from around the world. He's like, they bored me.
Wow.
But he's actually captured, or he, with the help of some Garlean scientists, have captured a primal. So that's one of the summon creatures from Final Fantasy XIV. That's what they call them in that game.
Okay.
So he has actually captured the Shinryu of that realm.
Oh my god. Okay.
He kept it filled with
And they've got it in this kind of net, partially magic, partially technological jail cell. Earlier in the story, there's a conflict between Shinryu and Omega. Omega is a machine that they try to get to battle off Shinryu, and there's this standstill, and then Shinryu is kind of lost for a time. And once Zenos learns about Shinryu from one of these reports that he gets, he has his people kind of recover it.
Okay.
And that's how he's gotten it and put it into his menagerie. We mentioned before that the Garleans can't use magic.
Right.
And your character not only can use magic, but has this ability called the Echo.
Okay.
And what the Echo is, it's this magical force. It's kind of mysterious. It's pretty rare, and it allows you to see events in the recent past, which I believe is why it's named the Echo, because you're seeing an echo of events that have occurred. But it also keeps you from being enthralled from primals, because in that universe, the summon monsters, the primals, can kind of take control of living people.
Right.
So, but if you're one of the rare people who have the gift of the Echo, then you're free from that control. You're free from that influence.
Right.
So that's why your character kind of comes through in a lot of instances, especially in the first part before Heaven's Word, the first primary part of the game, where you're free from that control and you can fight off primals and defeat them.
Right.
So yeah, you have the Echo. And he's talking to you about that when you confront him. He's basically, after bragging about the menagerie, he says, so you have this power, and it keeps you from being enthralled by the primals. I think the Garleans call primals icons. Not that that matters 100%, but anyway, he says, but have you ever thought that you could use it even further than that when it comes to the icons? Then he frees Shinryu, and he shows that he's a resonant. And what resonant means is some Garlean scientists have used technology to infuse a forced version of the Echo. It's an artificial version of the Echo.
Oh, okay.
So he's infused with that, and it makes his eyes glow red, and he looks kind of manic.
Okay.
So he has artificially gotten the Echo.
Right.
And that's another thing where he doesn't see eye to eye with his father. The father, the main emperor, he just wants all of the primals destroyed.
Oh, okay.
Because after the cataclysm with Bahamut, where you saw that amazing cutscene where Bahamut destroys the world.
Yes, yeah.
Much more violent, or much more powerful than a Bahamut in a standard Final Fantasy game. He wrecks havoc across the entire... Yeah, he's just flying back and forth, spraying tons of fire everywhere. So because of that, his father Varys wants all of these summons destroyed, or the primals destroyed.
Right.
And they don't want to have people infused with magic or anything like that, whereas Zenos is along the lines of, no, let's research this stuff, let's control it.
Right.
So he's had his scientists. The other Garleans wouldn't approve the work, but Zenos did, so the scientists got the resonant working, and they instilled it in him. So he, getting back to what he was saying before, about how he was boasting about how you never really used the Echo to its full effect, he takes control of Shinryu. So he frees Shinryu and kind of takes control of it, and then he fights you as Shinryu.
What the heck?
So the final confrontation of his initial storyline is he fights you as Shinryu. So he's asked you to get stronger and stronger, and then he finally has the excuse to use his ultimate power that he's been building
been
up
working
forever.
on for so long, right?
And so that's this ultimate boss fight with Shinryu from that game. So he fights you as Shinryu, and at that point, that's when you finally get the win. So you're able to defeat this giant creature thing, and he falls back to the ground, defeated, but he's totally elated. he's happy he's finally found a challenge.
Right.
So unlike the Vegetas of the world, he doesn't get pissed off like, oh, I lost. He's more like, yes.
Finally,
yeah. This is what it feels like.
Right.
And at that point, he begins addressing you as my friend. So, yeah, he starts calling you my friend, and, like, he says my friend, my enemy in the same sentence.
Oh, wow.
So he calls you both.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of definitely a weird dynamic, a weird relationship.
Yeah, I could see that getting real strange.
And then, now that he's known defeat, he then proceeds to take the Ame no Habakiri and he slits his own throat with it. Because he's like, he's that hardcore.
Is that what this is all
Oh
about?
my god. That
All
is
the
like the
meaningless
definition of
death and
masochism right
destruction,
there.
so you could feel something.
Oh my god, that is insane. Yeah, so he just kills himself right then and there.
Men die.
Yeah, so Zenos, pretty badass guy. He hates weakness, he hates cowardice, and apparently he hates haircuts. This is another thing he has in common with Camel and Not.
in eternity.
I mean, haircuts are a weakness.
The long flowing blonde hair.
So clear.
So yeah,
So vivid.
so he
So real.
slits his own throat there,
So real.
and
As you do.
that's not quite the end of his story. As I mentioned, he's gonna have a new outfit in Shadowbringers,
Right,
the next
right.
expansion. How can he have that if he's dead? His new outfit is just a coffin.
That would be hilarious. Or it's just the same exact outfit, except it's like a band-aid on his neck or something like that.
That's funny that you mentioned that. It's the same exact outfit, it's just a skeleton inside. You later see him in another scene in later patches. This was still part of the story that was released for Stormblood, but part of the story that was released later. Your characters are fighting this one guy, and your main guy sees an echo where this one guy was talking with Zenos, and Zenos was without his armor, and he did have a big bandage wrapped around his neck.
Oh, wow.
So
At your disposal.
then everybody starts wondering, wait, is he really dead? Is he alive?
Right.
And all the people who were there were like, no, we saw him. Dude, that was not a recoverable
Yeah.
kind of injury. We saw him
Yes,
slit his
my
own
lord.
throat.
Right.
I am
And they're like, okay,
honored
this is
that
getting
you would
ridiculous.
remember me.
They
How will I
hear more
serve?
rumors about it and things like that. So one of the scions says, okay,
appointed
we gotta go
ambassador
check his
and
tomb.
empowered
Right.
to speak
Let's
with the
get to the
voice
bottom
of
of
the
this. And you go to his coffin, and it is in fact empty.
Return to your native
Ooh.
land.
So
Okay.
then, yeah, everyone's like, "What the heck?
announce your intention.
This is not possible, right? I
Right.
mean, Garleans are advanced physiologically; they're strong, but they don't come back from the dead. They're not like that strong." Oh, also that jewel he has in the middle of his forehead, that's
Right.
that's a Garlean thing too.
Oh, okay.
So that's just part of that race.
Okay.
But yeah. So you later learn that it's not actually him. His body after the fight was possessed by another race called the Asians, and they have a horrible name.
Wow.
They're the very unfortunately named Asians. So a particularly powerful Asian by the name of Elidibus, he actually possessed Zenos' body so that he could use it for his own purposes. The Asians are like these overarching schemer villains.
Okay.
So they're like really manipulators behind the scenes, like
So they're like a higher level than what like the normal races would be operating
yeah,
on.
much higher level.
Okay.
They're operating behind the scenes. They can possess people, living or dead. They're manipulating, pulling strings to major events, that sort of thing.
They're kind of like god tier in a sense.
Not god tier, no.
Oh.
They're not like that level. They're, I mean, I get from what you're saying, in a sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where they're like being able to control like very large scale events, like they can...
It's similar to the Okuria, if you remember when we were talking about Final Fantasy XII and how Vane's goal was to remove the Okuria from controlling man's destiny.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So, yeah, they're like this race that has additional powers, and they're actually potentially extremely similar to the Okuria because Final Fantasy XIV draws a lot of its lore based on Evil East, Final Fantasy XII/Final Fantasy Tactics universes. So it could be like intentionally that they're at that same power level, or that they're even the same beings. Yeah, even Elidibus, like we were just saying, he's the one who specifically takes over Zenos' body and possesses it. There's a character in Final Fantasy Tactics who has that name, which is a character who represents the 13th zodiac symbol. The 13th when there's in actuality only 12.
Right.
So yeah, he's mysterious and he operates outside the normal boundaries of how these powerful figures work, and Elidibus is kind of the same way. All the Asians they're kind of clad in black robes, and they look super mysterious and that sort of thing, but he is clad in a white robe. So he stands out definitely. He's not always working the same scheme that they're working.
Right.
So anyway, Elidibus has taken over Zenos' body, and he's using it for his own purposes. And you eventually come to fight Zenos again, where Elidibus is controlling him, and at that point he has the Garlean body and he can use magic. Because he's no longer really a Garlean.
Right. So he has the benefits, but not any of the downsides.
Right. No drawbacks. There's somebody else behind the wheel.
Right.
So yeah, it's pretty awesome. And yeah, one of the characters even comments on it. It's like, that doesn't seem fair.
Yeah.
A Garlean body and he can still use magic? What the? So he beats down the Warriors of Light, or the Scions of the Seventh Dawn and the Resistance faction, the main powerful people again. Then your character comes in to fight him, and you win. But you start having this premonition at the same time. You don't win fully, it's kind of close, but you have the upper hand, but you start having this premonition, and then he realizes that your character is kind of in some sort of meditative state, and he comes in for this final blow. But at the last minute, you're saved by another character, like one of the main characters from Heavensward named Estinian, who's this like badass dragoon type character.
Oh, okay.
Then Zenos/Elidibus retreats. And that's basically the end of what you see up to the current point in Stormblood. And then, of course, more will happen in Shadowbringers, and we're going to see more of what Elidibus does with Zenos' body.
Right.
But after that, you actually get to see another scene. There's kind of a teaser scene where there's some soldiers kind of investigating some things in the aftermath of a battle. And this commanding officer guy kind of comes up to this one rogue soldier and he's like, "What the heck are you doing, man?" And the soldier, he draws a katana and then he kills the
commander.
Right, the commander.
Right.
He just outright kills him. And then you learn that the soldier is actually the real Zenos, who has possessed this guy's body himself by using his resonant power because his eyes glow that same red.
Oh, right.
So I'm not sure exactly how that happened, but the real Zenos has actually survived as well.
What the heck?
And once again, he's talking kind of to you. You're not there, but he's like, my friend, my enemy, I will find you again. He gets to the battle too late after the Elidibus with Zenos' body has left and you have left.
Right.
And he gets there too late. He's like, if only I'd been here a few moments earlier. But it doesn't matter, because while you're getting stronger and recovering, then I also must recover what's mine. And he's insinuating he's gonna
get his body back.
I don't know about the body because the camera pans to the flag of the Garlean Empire at that point, so maybe he wants the power back, but probably both. But yeah, so he's still actually alive and currently possessing some poor schlub.
Oh, that must suck for him because he's no longer like this massive physical force. He has to be a part of this schlub's body. Yeah,
I don't know, because he still easily cut down this other guy and can use his katana techniques. But yeah, I don't know. In the game, he does have this massive form. Like, I'm not sure if he's big enough quite in this game with how they've animated him, because he's supposed to be this 8-foot tall hulking guy.
Oh wow, okay.
I mean, he towers above the other Garleans, and they're already kind of big.
They're
so
massive, right? Yeah.
May you
when it comes to normal people in front of them, he just looks monstrous.
Right. I can imagine, yeah, him in front of like, I don't know, just a normal, I don't know, maybe like.
Yeah, just Ishola, when he's bringing the sword down on her, she's like, standing up fully straight, and he's just kind of leaning over.
Oh wow.
He just towers over her. So yeah, he
literally looks down
monstrous.
on everybody.
So yeah, I don't know that he's quite big enough the way that they animated him here, because he's taller than Sephiroth for sure, but he's not.
Yeah, I get like he's a very large guy, but yeah, I don't see the very like massive kind of guy, like the way you're describing anyway.
Yeah, because Sephiroth is 6 foot something, I think, and you don't look like you're 2 feet above him.
Right, right.
So that's Zenos in a nutshell. He is a badass through and through.
Yeah, up until the very end, and
even then.
Yeah, that's true. I was gonna say he took himself out in the most badass way possible. Like, it's like, oh, finally I lost, and then he kills himself. But then, yeah, he just ends up coming back anyway. So, yeah, I wonder if that was like part of the plan, like to come back after the fact anyway, or if this is just kind of like he is. I don't know. He wasn't planning on coming back, but now he wants to kind of reclaim the space since his body has been taken over.
The speeches that he makes make it sound definitely like it was not intentional.
Oh, okay.
He says lines something similar to, I had intended that to be my finality, and I was going to exit in this grand way upon the grandest stage of all, that sort of thing.
Right, right.
Yeah, so it seems like it was not intentional.
He's a lot of fun to play in the game for sure, but yeah, with the backstory, I love him even more. I think he's really badass. He's really cool to have, and I love the fighting style, like how they implemented that.
Yeah, they implemented him really well.
It was just, fantastic. I was really, like, at first when you were describing it, I was like, this seems like a lot. But then when you get used to it, it's actually really nice. Like, you get to kind of rely on his different kind of fighting styles with the buffs, and it helps out a lot for sure.
Yeah, and unlike Final Fantasy XI, this time it wasn't a controversial choice. It wasn't like Camelot. A lot of people like Zenos.
Oh, right, right. I could see why for sure. Like, it seems like he would definitely have a cool following.
Yeah, 11, a lot of controversy. People just, I don't know why they chose this guy.
Yeah, right.
He's not even the main villain of his expansion, whereas Zenos, he is the primary antagonist of his expansion. He is in the driver's seat.
It seems very much so. Like, it's not even close.
So yeah, he's a total badass. They got rid of the controversy, which is good, because after Camelot and then Snow...
Oh, right, yeah.
We had enough controversial entries. I mean, not everybody is going to like every character. Everybody has different opinions, so yeah. But still,
The team that sticks together wins
at
together.
least the people who like 14 definitely...
Oh, yeah, we'll definitely be happy with this choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the lovely lady! I'm the lovely lady!
It's like a Garnier fruit teas commercial. Just the flowing locks. And it's just like him slitting somebody's throat and then moving the hair out of his eyes afterwards.
Or he could slit his own throat and then move his hair into the hole to stop the bleeding. That's how he lived.
Hair so smooth it could be a bandage. Oh my god.
Is that Ramza?
Why are you doing this to me?
Because you're attacking. Because it's a fighting game.
Wow. Oh,
Oh, Incapacite.
I thought this was a pacifist game.
Who could be the better Gandhi?
Gandhi Simulator. Take it away, that's just starvation.
Almost no characters are good at being a Gandhi in this game. Ishtola kind of was.
She just throw rocks at people, so I don't think that's very Gandhi-esque.
Yeah, but she could at least before create the bubble of peace and harmony.
Yeah.
So yeah, he takes over Shinryu, and in this game, when he fights Shinryu, the boss fight, his quote for the battle is, "This dragon shall also be made to kneel."
Oh, damn.
Referencing his own Shinryu.
Yeah.
And how he made it his bitch.
Oh my god. Everything about him is just awesome. Yeah, he definitely seems like one of the more badass characters, like antagonists that we've seen in this game. Like, he doesn't have any, like, it's no bullshit with him. He's just like to the point. I'm going to kill you if you stand in my way, unless you prove to be like entertainment for me. And that is fantastic.
So did you like his gameplay despite the fact that he's kind of a slower character movement-wise?
Yeah, I was like, initially, I didn't think I would like him that much because, you know, everyone knows if you watch some of these videos that I've been playing, I am a fan of the fast guys, the very quick, in and out kind of gameplay. But yeah, I don't know, he offers something different that I have never seen in any other type of player. And yeah, I'm a fan. Like, I'm a really big fan of him. I'd say like he's probably like one of my top 3 people to fight with, honestly. He seems like you can really change up your game style, and his moves look freaking badass. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of it. So I definitely recommend it. It's like not something I would normally do. Like if I didn't play with him before, I didn't see any gameplay with him, I just assume he's like one of those big kind of slow like brawlers kind of guys.
Yeah.
But no, he has a lot to offer for sure in terms of gameplay. And I wonder how people are going to utilize him like on the multiplayer scene and stuff like that. Because yeah, you can kind of psych out your enemies with these different attacks. And if you can psych them out in the right way, then you have basically a full shot at a really awesome, like, incapacitation move, right?
Yeah.
And
with
it's non-blockable.
Exactly, with 2 unblockables, that really means that your opponent have to pay attention, and you can try to mind game them.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I think it would be really cool to get good with him and be able to chain all these different attacks and his different modes together in the proper way. Yeah, I really don't have much negative things to say about him. Like, his voice actor is awesome. His like moveset looks awesome. Like, I think his backstory is awesome. So it doesn't seem like they missed out on a potentially a better choice for a villain to throw in. So yeah, I think overall, like, I'm really happy with this DLC.
So that's going to do it for this episode of Dissidia Final Fantasy NT.
Indeed. Yes, we will see you guys in the next episode where, well, we're not sure who the next DLC character will be, but whenever they get released, join us. We will be doing that.
Yes, we will be there.
And hopefully they'll have a storyline in that one, so we can explore a little bit more.
Oh, that's true. Or if this story gets released anytime in between now and then, we'll cover that.
Yeah, for sure.
As it appears. But yeah, whenever the next character will be released, we will be back.
Indeed. So yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Be there, be smart.
Push them away with waves that lie